Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. In this video I'd like to show you my Adenium plant here. So if any of you have watched my other video series on my Adenium, you'll notice that it's been suffering a bit. At the moment, every year it just flowers lots and doesn't grow any foliage. So at the moment it's in its dormant phase at the moment, and that means it's no leaves, hasn't been growing. It's been like this, I think, since the leaves died back in about October, November time. I've kept it somewhere cold and I've kept it in the dark actually, because I mean ideally I should have left it in the light, but I haven't really had any windowsills that were free. I've had all my windowsills full of plants, and as it's dormant it doesn't really need much light, to be honest. So I haven't watered it once that whole time. It's been completely bone dry, and only in the last few weeks, as the temperature's warmed up slightly, has it shown any signs of any suffering. So you can see on these stems there's a few crevices starting to appear, and that's just because it's starting to get a bit soft. What's happened is it's getting very dry, and because it hasn't had any water, it's starting to kind of shrivel up and start to die almost. You can see actually some of these smaller side branches, it's actually sucked all the moisture out and they've actually died off completely. That's quite a natural process. If there's a drought, what it will do is it will sacrifice the smallest, thinnest branches, suck any water out of them, and use that to keep the rest of the plant alive. So that's the sign that I've really severely drought stressed it. Now, I probably should have looked after it a bit better, but what I've been trying to do, you can actually see there, it's quite dry as well. So what I've been trying to do is I'm trying to give it a bigger extreme between the growing season and the dormant season. And the reason I'm trying that is, as I said, I've had problems where it's flowered lots, but it hasn't really grown much. So what I'm doing now is I'm giving it a really dry period like it would in the wild as a desert. And then I'm going to give it a much warmer spell where hopefully it's going to really notice the temperature increase and the water increase, and it should put on hopefully quite a lot of new healthy growth. You can see there's actually some little shoots here which are trying to grow. So there's this one here, if I can get it in focus for you, and you can see there it's got a nice bit of growth just starting there, a few shoots. It did put out one leaf over winter, which is this one down here, but that hasn't come to anything, and that's because it's so dry. It's not going to start growing until it's warm enough and moist enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this on the sunniest window I can find in my living room, because that's my warmest room. It's probably about 20-22 degrees at the moment, which is hopefully warm enough to get this growing well. And I'm going to start watering it again. I'm also going to give it a feed, and this time I'm going to give it a high nitrogen feed. And the reason for that is, as I say, it's always flowering loads and it's never putting any growth on. It's never putting any new stems on, or even many leaves. So I'm hoping with a really high nitrogen feed it will finally start growing leaves and stems, and it won't focus as much on flowers. I mean, of course I love seeing the flowers, they look really beautiful, but at the moment every year it actually seems to get slightly smaller, and the reason for that is you can see last year on this stem, once it's in focus, you can see on this stem here it's only grown 1 centimetre last year, put a few leaves out, grew a centimetre, and then had hundreds of flowers. And then over the winter what it does is it loses a couple of branches, so actually it's slowly getting smaller over the years. Maybe the trunk's thickening up, but it's losing a small number of branches every year. So hopefully this summer it'll grow lots, and yeah, I'll keep you updated and just let you see how it does.